2 seconds to go. Puts it up and scores at the buzzer. Oh, the man is out on the field. He That's another knockdown.
He's not getting up, Jim.
He got up. You believe in miracles? Yes.
You are now listening to the All Things Sport Podcast with your hosts, Daimeon Banks and Pierre Banks on Spreaker Radio. Fellas, you know what to do.
What's happening? What's up? What's going on? It's the All Things Sport Podcast, and I'm Daimeon Banks.
And I'm Pierre Banks.
Pierre. It's the ATS, baby. The All Things Sport Podcast, or ATS as I like to affectionately call it, where you and myself give our listeners all thing sport. Pierre, what's going on, my man?
I can't call it, man. You know, it's an up and down week. A lot of good things happening, a lot of sad things, tragedies, some folks passing away. So, you know, it's just the ups and downs of life, man. How are things your way?
As you say, Pierre, I measure my life in sports, man. And right now, you know, I'm in a little bit of a downtime because, you know, the NBA season is over. There's no NFL right now. We're in the middle of the baseball season, not even halfway on the midway point in baseball season right now. So, you know, it's a little bit slower, I would say, sports-wise now. Now, there's always something going on in the world of sport, as we all know that. But right now, man, I'm just taking care of the little one, trying to get better at this daddy duty thing. You know, just getting ready each and every day to be the best guy that I could possibly be, man. I mean, it's hard to be any better than I am right now, but I'm trying.
Yeah, man. As you say, the baseball season rages on, and your Baltimore Orioles right now, first place in the AL East. Probably short-lived, but first place right now in the AL East, man. Red Sox sliding hard.
Backhanded compliment. Backhanded. The shade that you just threw on my Baltimore Orioles. I'll take it, though, man.
I mean, the Orioles, you know, they're playing all right now.
I wasn't going to bring it up. You know, my Baltimore Orioles, we have a 5.5 game lead right now as I talk in the American League East standings. We're playing good baseball right now, and I'm just going to leave it at that. It's early in the season. It's a long way to go.
Real early.
You know, we're in the dog days of summer. But, yeah, we're playing pretty good right now, if I do say so myself.
Yeah, Red Sox, tough month of June. Went 10-16. You know, our prized ace, guy we spent a lot of money on, David Price, not pitching the ball particularly well right now, but again, it's real early. Hadn't even hit the All-Star break yet. Looking forward to the All-Star game, but yeah, man, it's a long season, so enjoy it while it lasts.
Yeah, one thing that I will say about David Price, heck of a pitcher, but right now, the police are they're wanting him for questioning. He is a suspect. You know, because he is, I mean, I don't know what is wrong with him right now. He recently said that he is a much better pitcher than what he's been pitching. But, yeah, man, kudos to the Baltimore Orioles.
How about the Texas Rangers? Last time we talked about them, they were getting in a brawl with the Toronto Blue Jays. And now, I mean, they're creeping up there and almost have the best record in baseball right now. So big time season for the Rangers. We'll see if they can keep it up.
Yeah, thanks for cutting me off when I was talking about my Orioles. Yeah, but the Texas Rangers, they're playing good baseball, man. But you know, it's like you said, it's early in the baseball season. You and I, Pierre, we measure our life in sporting events. And right now it's baseball season. Got a little bit of tennis going on right now. Golf has just started their season. Not just started, but, you know, started recently. Again, like we said, NBA just ended. No football season yet. I know that football season is almost on the horizon because DirecTV sent me an email, you know, saying that they were going to automatically update the NFL ticket, man. So football season is right around the corner.
Absolutely, man. And you say a little bit of tennis is going on right now. One of the majors, man. One of the majors, my favorite major of them all, at the All English Club, Wimbledon. So, we'll see if Serena Williams can continue her magic. Looks like Novak Djokovic continues to do his thing. I mean, just a phenomenal player that Djokovic is. I'm saddened right now, man. Couple passings at the beginning of this week on the same day, actually. Buddy Ryan, former NFL defensive whiz, and then the legendary all-time winningest basketball coach, Miss Pat Summitt, Basketball Hall of Famer. So rest in peace to those two. We'll be getting into a lot more on Pat Summitt during the show, man. This whole show pretty much is this dedicated to Miss Summitt.
Yeah, Pierre, again, let me piggyback off what you said. Rest in peace to Buddy Ryan as well as Pat Summitt. And it's been a rough, little go of it here lately with athletes and sports figures passing. We had the passing of Muhammad Ali, a little while ago. And, this just reminds you to never take anything for granted. Tell the ones who you love that you do love them when you can, because you never know. Tomorrow isn't promised, man. And for ourselves, we cover sports because, this is what we do. And in the world of sports, the fraternity in the world of sports is so small, relatively speaking, to the population of the world. It's not a lot of professional athletes. It's not a lot of, professional coaches and things like that. So, it's news when one of them passes, and especially when two high caliber and Hall of Fame type people pass, as in Buddy Ryan and Pat Summitt. So rest in peace to those two, and my condolences to their families.
Yeah, and later on in the show, a great friend of the show, Mr. Al Daniel, he spent some time at the University of Tennessee from 2001 to 2005. He was nice enough to call into the show and do an interview talking about his time with Pat Summitt, her impact on the game. And then later on in the show, top 5 women's basketball players of all time. So again, all in all, just want to dedicate this one to Miss Pat Summitt.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen,
the All Things Sport Hot Topic.
In the world of sports, there's always something that's popping off. It's always something that's popping off early in the week, and it goes all through the week, man. So last weekend, I'm going to start with boxing because I know you love boxing.
Yes, sir.
Last weekend, man, I was sitting in the house. It was Saturday night, and Al Heyman's PBC boxing was coming on, and I was like, oh man, I was just about to leave the house, but I'm like, oh, Keith, one-time Thurman is fighting Sean Porter. This is probably going to be a pretty good fight. I need to stick around and watch this. And lo and behold, Pierre, I was delighted. I mean, I made several bags of popcorn. I ate a few packs of Skittles. I was treated, man, to one of the best fights of the year, in my humble. Keith Thurman winning that unanimous decision over Sean Porter. And, they fight in a highly contested weight class, that welterweight division, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Correct.
Man, I was really entertained from the first round all the way until the final bell. Now, I know you're a boxing enthusiast. You're the boxing aficionado between us two. Break down that Keith Thurman, Sean Porter fight, if you don't mind.
Well, it was a highly anticipated fight coming in. We had been expecting this fight earlier on in the year. Unfortunately, Keith Thurman had a minor car accident and wasn't able to go on the original date. Kenny Porter, Sean Porter's father, and Sean Porter, made some comments that he may have been ducking or scared or whatever it was. And I don't think any, hardcore boxing fan really believed the hype into that. But that happened, and it did nothing but build the anticipation of the fight. Now, going into the fight, that Sean Porter is the type of fighter, former world champion Sean Porter, and he likes to jump in on his guys, but in doing so, he smothers a lot of his punches. And the judges have a hard time scoring him for effective aggressiveness. What usually happens is he'll win a round off of just outworking his opponent or catching his opponent with a big shot or something along those lines. Whereas you have Keith Thurman, who is a master boxer puncher, has a lot of KOs. KO percentage is very high, but the guy can box. So going into the fight, I always lean toward the boxer in the matchup. And Keith Thurman didn't do anything to change that opinion. Keith Thurman came out, he used his legs early, and then he gave the fans what they wanted to see. Toe-to-toe action, catching Sean Porter with a lot of bombs. Sean Porter was able to catch him with some bombs, and both guys were hurt in the fight. A lot of back and forth action, but at the end of the day, Keith Thurman showed more of that boxing ability, able to control the real estate in the ring, more of the effective aggressiveness, clean punching, and he came out with the very close, unanimous decision over Sean Porter and retained his WBA welterweight title.
Pierre, I agree with everything that you just said. Keith Thurman, I was very entertained by that Thurman-Porter fight. Thurman fought well from the beginning round all the way into the end. It was highly contested, though. It wasn't like a blowout, as far as Keith Thurman controlling the whole fight. I did think that he won that fight. Sean Porter is a really rugged fighter. I wouldn't say that he's awkward. He's just not a naturally, a natural boxer. He was a wrestler, football player in high school, so he didn't grow up boxing. And you can tell in the way that he fights. But Keith Thurman, man, he stayed aggressive, but it was effective aggressiveness, as you like to say.
And Sean Porter, he's a bigger guy. Naturally a bigger fighter, and he started out his career in a weight class above welterweight, which is junior middleweight. But Sean Porter has a lot of success when he goes against fighters that are naturally smaller than him. Now, when he took on Keith Thurman, this is a guy that's a natural welterweight, so kind of a bigger guy in the ring than most of the guys that Sean Porter is used to fighting. So he wasn't able to bully him around the ring, and Keith Thurman, having that size, was able to use it to his advantage throughout the fight.
Yeah, again, great fight between Keith Thurman and Sean Porter, where Thurman retains that welterweight championship. And also, Pierre, another boxing extravaganza, so to speak, Saturday night that I didn't see this one, and I'm mad at myself, man. I'm kicking myself in the head, man. And because this young guy, Anthony Joshua, if you guys who are listening don't know who that is, very exciting heavyweight from the UK. And Anthony Joshua was taking on Dominic Breazeale. Did I say his name right? Breazeale?
Yeah, Dominic Breazeale.
Dominic Breazeale for Joshua's IBF heavyweight championship, man. And that was going on, I guess, simultaneously during the Thurman Porter fight. The Joshua fight was on Showtime, and I had no idea because I knew he was fighting. So I'm looking for the Joshua fight. I'm like, well, I guess he's not fighting. I was looking for him to be fighting on PBC. So when I spoke to you and you told me that Joshua had won the fight, I'm like, when was the fight? So I looked at the highlights, man, and I like this kid, Anthony Joshua, man. 7th round TKO victory over Dominic Breazeale to retain his IBF heavyweight championship.
Breazeale, bigger fighter, but Anthony Joshua is just a guy that's got a lot of speed and a lot of power, and that's a deadly combination in boxing. And so he was just able to overwhelm Breazeale with that quickness. And, he's used to getting guys out of there rather quickly. So that 7th round knockout was actually a little bit later than he would have liked it to be. But nice performance from Anthony Joshua. Now, after the fight, they asked him, who do you want to fight next? And he wants to unify titles. And the first name that everyone brings up nowadays, no, not Tyson Fury, not the recognized champion, it's Alabama's own, the Bronze Bomber, Deontay Wilder. And that is an intriguing matchup. Two big, strong guys, a lot of speed, more boxing ability than everyone gives them credit for. So, it could be a war. It could be a tactical matchup. But that's a fight that needs to be made. And as Deontay Wilder said, it needs to be made sooner rather than later.
Yeah, everyone is pointing towards that Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder fight in the heavyweight division to unify those championships. You know, I'm a big Deontay Wilder fan.